So this is going to be super, super simple. Basically, it is the E equals MC squared of data scraping, right? No, no, it's not energy equals mass to the speed of light squared. Not at all. All it is I'm going to show you how to data scrape another website. This one I believe is Marketplace. It has to do with stocks. Everyone loves stocks. They think it's great. They think we make lots of money. I don't know what this stuff means, but it was kind of fun to get, right? Possibly? I think so. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up our sub. So insert a new module, call it whatever you want, really doesn't matter. But the technique we're going to use here is we're going to data scrape by basically querying the HTML code in the source of the website. I could really say anything and you'd believe me, because I have no idea what the hell it is. But it worked. So, yippee! So define your collection as MS-HTML as IHTML element collection, and then we're going to define our element as MS-HTML and an HTML input element. So after this, the next thing we're going to do is, just so we can run this on a loop, to grab all our stock tickers, because the URL for Marketwatch, oh man, I said Marketplace before, so Marketwatch is based on the base URL, and then after that it's going to be the stock price and then profile. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a function to count how many cells have data. So let's count for this one, this workbook.sheet, sheets 1, range A for column A. So we're going to run it from our second row to our last row. Just do yourself a favor for the last row and get rid of the extra sheets in there, because that's total garbage and won't work. So as you can see with the URL, we're just parsing it out with Marketwatch, /investing, /stock, and our stock ticker value, then /profile. And we're just going to throw that into a string, so when we input that into our XML2 XML HTTP request, that we're going to grab it no problem. That was a mouthful. Oh my god. So do yourself a favor, remember this. It's simple, it's great, it's very quick. Set your object. So we're doing create object msxml2.xml HTTP. Now what we're doing is we're going to be opening up the connection using the keyword get. We're utilizing the URL and then false. And after that, XML, HTTP, set request header, then content type, and then text/XML, and we're going to send a request. So that's XML HTTP tp.send. And we're going to send a request there. Now what we're doing is we're going to create our next object to which we're going to read our data from, or a data set, which we're going to call this HTML because we're reading HTML code. So create the object as the HTML file. So you go set HTML, create object, HTML file. Pretty radical. This is like next level stuff, right? It's coding for beginners. Oh my god. I feel like Frankenstein. So this is what it's like to be famous. No. So we only got a couple minutes left in this, so hang in tight. So what we're doing is from our request that the connection request that we sent, we're going to make our HTML body inner HTML of that request. So we're going to set our collection as HTML get elements by tag name. Now I've already looked through the coding of this website and identified a pattern which I saw they could get the data that I wanted. So how you do that is just go to Internet Explorer, click the web page, and then view source, and then just with a little bit of reading about HTML and a little bit of Java, you can pretty much function around most websites and data scrape everything that you want, really, unless it's hidden or protected. In that case, there's still ways around it, so you'll be okay. So we're going to do this HTML equals get elements by tag name div, first element, so bracket 0, and then get element by tag name p. So these are just the loops we're going through and go through the entire collection, and then based on the logic that we need, we're just going to grab the data and then populate our table. So first thing I'm grabbing is the stock price. It's the only thing that was outside the other information that I was looking to gather. So if the element class or class name equals data bg last, it's very specific to the website. This is not going to work on everything, but you can get the idea of how to change it up for yourself. And then from there, we're going to populate the elements inner text to our cell. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use similar logic to populate the remaining of our table. So what you can do is identify the element that has column in it, and then from there you are going to run it through your table headers on your Excel page to see if it matches. Because what I did is I scraped the headers, the class name, and I put them on the table. Luckily for me, is that they make sense. Like one is like P current, P ratio, price to book ratio. So thank you, Marketwatch, for making this really easy. Really appreciate it. Freedom of information, gotta love it. So what we're doing is when we find our class name equals our header, then we know what cell to grab our element, we know what cell to put in our element inner text into, and then just go on a loop through the remaining stock prices. And what this is going to do is it's going to grab the stock price, it's going to create the connection, create the HTML body, and then it's going to run through the HTML body object and then data scrape that and input it into your table. Now I'm sure there's another million different ways to make this work. You can set an Internet Explorer object and go through that way. If maybe you looked at the source code a little bit better, you could find a table. I just did this really quickly. You tell me, right? You tell me. So just to finish out our basic logic, found it equals true, and then we find the address. The address is the location of my column, so where I'm going to dump my inner text data. So and then the last logic is if found it equals true, so that means it's found data that has a column name in my Excel book. If the element class equals data last column, which is where they keep their data, then just dump the element inner text in there and then reset and then go forward and prosper. Just loop it. Just loop it. So now what we're doing is we're just going to data dump our element inner text and call it a day. So anyways, this is really basic. Hopefully you guys had a good time. I'm going to post the code in the comment section so you guys can grab it. I don't think I use any references for this, so you should be good to go. Just a copy and paste in your VBA, and then slightly modify it to whatever you really need, and then go from there and have a good time. So yeah, thanks again, and chat soon, guys. Really appreciate it.